Hello, I'm just getting some things ready that I need to change here. Let's see. Hello. I am just checking to make sure I'm live. I've been having a few technical difficulties, and this is not Tarot Showdown. This is Big Three and me, live tarot and astrology. Just waiting for you to tap on in. Da, 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 da. Oh, I see what happened there. I see what's going on. Okay. Slow day at the office. I imagine lots of people are out on the lakes, spending time with family. Lots of people are also probably working. Hello. I see you there. Hello, welcome. Big Three and me. I am here. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm here learning astrology. And above me is my personal astrology chart. Wow. Okay. A bunch of people jumped on. Hello. Welcome to Big Three and Me, live tarot and astrology. My name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm grateful to be here with you on Saturday. So I'm an aspiring astrologer, an intuitive astrologer. I'm just kind of learning my own chart. In the last few weeks, I've been doing all sorts of different kinds of shows to see what kind of fits. And I realized that I don't have as much experience as I would like in astrology to be able to talk fluently about it. So I'm just going to start off with doing something fun and interactive. I had an astrology reading just recently with Andy Black, who's at Wise Ass Astrology here on YouTube. We talked about the astrology, and one thing that he told me is like, you just have to talk to people about their charts and get their information, look over charts. So I'm hoping that if you don't know your astrology big three, that I can type that in for you and we can figure it out. I can read over some information with you. I can do a tarot card reading for you today. If you want to drop your sun sign, if you know your sun sign or your birthday, I'll do a tarot card reading based on your sun sign for today. Whatever it is that you would like to do, I just want to, talk a little bit about astrology, do a little bit of tarot, answer your questions in the chat, see what kind of, big threes we've got out there. So as you can tell in my description here, I'm a Libra sun, a Pisces moon, and a Capricorn rising. So for me, as a Capricorn rising, I believe that's who people see me as in the world. I look like a leader, someone who follows rules. I was in the police profession, I was in the law profession. I was just really very serious at a very young age. And now that I'm older, I'm 52, I feel like I'm growing backwards. So I'm getting a little bit more playful, a little bit more childlike in my old age, which I really enjoy. So, anyway, those are my big three, and they disrupt me quite a bit. Having my Libra sun and all the justice and fairness, having the Pisces moon, which is also about community and justice and fairness as well. And then that Capricorn rising, which is work, work, work. A lot of times, it's a very cerebral vibe for me. And I created my own Saturn daddy in my head to keep myself in line on course to like finish high school, to finish college. It was just like this big bad monster I created to just stay on me, to keep me going because I get bored. And I always just kind of want to jump ahead. So bored and probably a little bit of ADD. So anyway, as you can see, I'm using Cafe Astrology. It's not necessarily anything that I prefer, but what I do like about it is this is the first site that I ever punched in my information, my own astrology chart, and I like that it gives some words, it gives some details about the transits here. Okay. And that's what I really liked about it. It says Moon and Pisces people may get tagged as spaced out, but there's a lot more to them than meets the eye. You bet there is. So it really goes into the transits. Like I have Mercury in Scorpio, and it says, it tells me that this is about my communication style. And it says, your Mercury talks about your style of communication, how you make decisions, how you pick up, process, absorb, and exchange information. And those are the questions that answers. So my Mercury is in Scorpio, so I'm able to really get down deep into things. I have turned in more than one person to the FBI as most wanted off of just psychic weird hits that I got. And I obsessively looked. So in my chart, I have Mercury in Scorpio, which is probably a little bit obsessive, but I also have something called Venus in Virgo, which I think is my obsessive compulsive disorder. And I share Venus in Virgo with a lot of familiar people like Charlize Theron. She has a Venus in Virgo. John Lennon, Venus in Virgo. There's a ton of people. Eminem has a Venus in Virgo. I don't know. There's a lot of, especially musicians that I adore that have a Venus in Virgo. Bruno Mars, I believe, has a Venus in Virgo. So Venus in Virgo, it says that's how I attract things, situations, and people out into my life. And Venus, of course, rules our sentiments, what we value, and the pleasure we take in life. Grace, charm, and beauty are all ruled by Venus. And I feel that. A lot of people know that I'm, more masculine presenting, and it's often funny to watch the faces of my friends as I talk about fashion, or as I talk about art, or I talk about all sorts of different. I've not worn makeup in a very long time, but I can talk to you about makeup and makeup brands because I am so fascinated by fashion big time. But so all those other Venus, like my Libra is a Venus ruled, so my sun is ruled by Venus. And my Venus is in Virgo, so it makes me very nitpicky. I call myself Nagatha Christie. If you're aware that there was a mystery writer whose name is Agatha Christie, and she wrote hundreds of awesome mysteries back in the day. So I call myself Nagatha Christie because it's my love language. It's kind of like, did you wash your hands, or did you remember to make that doctor's appointments? And it's just naggy, and I know, but the intention is all heart. It's just like, hey, you're going to take care of yourself in that way. And I like to remind people of that. Let me open up this chat and see. I'm sorry, I just kind of got carried away. All right. Hello, Zach. Hello, Kaylee. Hello. I would like to know if my tarot reading June 21st. Hello. Okay, thank you so much for commenting. Let me get my chart pulled up for you. So if you haven't seen a chart before. So what I did, let me just finish up about Cafe Astrology, and I apologize. I don't have a script. right now. I just really wanted to get on here because I've been doing this every Saturday at 3 p.m. for consistency. And I wasn't quite sure, honestly, what I was going to talk about today because I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to do the current events in astrology. If you've watched the last couple of weeks, it's kind of like, eh. But I'm really interested in learning astrology. And I think there's a lot of people out there like me. So I just want to talk to you about how I experience it because having my astrology read to me, it's been more empowering and validating, and understanding my astrology chart has made me feel so included. And I don't even know how to describe that, but it's true. So anyway, the very first time that I ever typed in my information was to Cafe Astrology because, as I said, it gives detailed information about this, and not everybody does. Okay. So all you really need to put in there, and this is kind of difficult as a beginning astrologer, and I live in Missouri. So I have a healthy dose of why are you asking me this question? But I might ask people for, their place, date, and time of birth. And some people are like, oh my gosh, she's trying to steal my bank account information, but that's not it at all. And this information isn't going to tell me jack smack about anything. Okay. So I was born October 18th, 1972 at 1:27 p.m. Central Standard Time in Kansas City, Missouri. And this is on Placidus houses. And the astrologer I talked to, he said he uses whole houses. And honestly, I don't know the difference between the two. That's something I'm going to have to read about. I also want to tell you another way that I get my information about my personal astrology and how I'm learning my chart is from the Chani app. And, I understand not everybody can afford the app. I can't afford the app, and it's really not that expensive for the information that she gives there. However, there is a free version of it that gives a lot of information. And if nothing else, it gives you your astrology chart so you can look at it. It's, really handy to look at and see, and, pull it out every now and then and look at it, and just kind of get familiar with what, let's see here, with what, like look at that center part here, and and what does that look like to you? First of all, like, what does it conjure up for you? This looks like a kind of a Star Wars or a Pac-Man or something, like, yeah, and I be eaten. I mean, like, chomp, chomp, chomp. So that's Taurus and Aries, I think, and Pisces. And I'm still getting to learn all of these symbols here, you all. I have no clue about the houses. There are some houses I know, but I really don't know how I'm going to learn about the houses except for getting people's information, my own information, and just reading about it over and over again, and understanding, like, with the person in front of me, what this means in real time. So anyway, let me get to these questions. Thank you so much for being patient. I would like to know June 21st, 1983. Okay, so Hector, do you want to know June 21st, tarot pleading? Okay. Hector, are you wanting to know your June 21st, 1983? Are you wanting to know your big three? Do you want to put your place, time, and date of birth in there? Or I know it's kind of weird to ask that. I wonder if there's some way. I don't know that there's any other way to kind of chat with me. So I apologize if this feels like I'm trying to steal your information, but I'm really, really not. It's so wild to ask these questions. I'm serious, you all. But if you don't know your big three, please let me know. And or you can send me an email at Rose Tarot and Energy Services, and I can send you, I guess, a link. But I would need your date, place, and time of birth. And if you don't have your time of birth, that's fine, but we just won't know your rising sign. Okay. And place, time, date of birth. Place, time, date of birth. That's what you need for your astrology chart. And you can go to Cafe Astrology and look your own chart up for free. That's the chart that I've got up here right now. That's my chart. And it will give you good guidance about who you are in the world. Even the bad stuff the perceived bad stuff that I see about myself, even those things make sense to me now. And it just gives me a sense of, oh, okay, like, I've been through a lot of therapy and I still haven't changed that, or I've done a whole lot of things to not be that person and I still can't seem to fight it, and it's not an excuse. It's just really validation. Like, for me, it was like, oh, I'm not a horrible person. This is just really how I'm made up. And So I do take steps to not be that person or not get myself in those situations. And now that I'm aware, I'm able to change the course of things, and it's really just powerful to me. So I'm going to do a tarot reading just for Hector. Hector, King of Pentacles. So Hector, maybe it is you're really hoping to be this person in real life. If we're talking about, going forward, our future, it looks like some prosperity is coming in for you. And I mean, in the way of money, in the way of, you're going to be able to buy probably the nicer things. It doesn't mean there won't have to be some work that's done for you to gain these nice things. But it says that prosperity is incoming for you. Okay. One thing I've learned reading tarot now for the last, I think, 5 years is a lot of us don't believe that so we believe that we want prosperity. We believe that we want money and we want the structure. We want a home. We want all the stability and stuff, right? But there's a lot of us that don't believe that we deserve it, and it blocks our blessings. So, this says that the the opportunity is there for you to become this person in life, to become this person who's really enriched in a lot of ways. And this is about Pentacles is about health, wealth, and finances, about the things that you own. It's about your health. It's about your body health, your mental health. It's about, for me also, it's just about contracts. And it's a great time right now to make a contract with yourself. Saturn is going into Aries, and Saturn has been in Pisces for I don't know how long, but for a long time, I think, for many, many years, maybe 28 or 30 years. And I don't think I'm wrong on that. And so we're switching over from a earth and water vibe to an air and fire vibe. And it's kind of a big deal. Like for me, this has been about like you think about earth and water, like how do you contain water? There's all sorts of different ways to contain water, but sometimes it just flows out. So now it is that we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to overindulge in drinking or eating or whatever it is that we do to not make ourselves feel or to make ourselves feel better, or so we think. That is going to kind of just fizzle away. And we have this great opportunity to create some wealth for ourselves going forward. We have the fire that we need. We have the information that we need. We've seen this path before, and we know the path that we don't want to take any longer. Okay. We have to trust ourselves if we want to get to that higher level of living, Hector. And you also have to believe that that way of living is for you. You have to already believe that it is yours, that it is you, that you have that. And it's just a reminder, also to take care of your physical health. Okay. So Saturn and Aries is a great time to be taking care of those things, putting those things into action, that to-do list, dialing up some phone numbers or sending some emails or making some trips, take care of those things right now while you have the chance, because this fiery energy is only going to last until I think September. And then Saturn dips back into Pisces, which means we're going to be back to, how to contain water. And for me, in the environment, I think that we are going to have to watch for some flooding, if I'm honest, and just some literal movement of earth. I saw a building that had a flash flood, and the water, even though it wasn't, I mean, it was 2 feet tall. It wasn't that, violent. It didn't have the velocity. It was just kind of lapping up against it. And it was just kind of contained in this part of the parking lot. And just for a little bit of time while that water was there, and it was really just a flash flood, it knocked out bricks, like bricks, whole big ass bricks in a building. The water, our anxieties, our fears, our worries. That's all of our watery emotions, all of our intuitions that we're just kind of bleeding out of our body. We're peeing them out. We're, just kind of overdoing it. And so right now we have this opportunity to kind of dry up, dry out. And so we have the next 3 months in order to do that. And then, we're going to be thrown back into Pisces season. Something's going to happen. Something's going to remind you. Something is going to, quote unquote, set you back. And in the past, when that's happened, you've allowed it to happen and you just blamed yourself for it. You've just said, oh, yeah. And you've just gone back to what you were doing before. This is not the time to do that. And you're going to recognize and understand that this is not the time to do that. Okay, so this is the time to prepare, to get your ducks in order, to make those appointments while you still can, to get those tests done, to change jobs, to get a new car, to change the tires, whatever it is that you've been putting off, whatever it is that you think that you couldn't have done, you can do right now. And for the next 3 months, you're going to be on fire for getting things done. And you're going to feel like you want a different routine, but that routine is going to be broken up a little bit in about 3 months. So don't get too attached to what's happening right now. Okay. But do please get that outline. Do please walk in those footsteps. Do please remind yourself what it is to be unapologetically you, what it is to look like the healed you. Right. And this is another. So there's nothing wrong with sharing with other people. Okay. There's also nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with taking something from someone who offers it. And we've been talking about this as far as collaborations are concerned. And look, if you have a business idea, if you have a plan for even something scribbled down, something, anything, there's somebody out there that might help you. And maybe it is somebody's already approached you and said, hey, I like what you're doing. And I'd really like to, support you in that. Okay. So I think a lot of new jobs, a lot of new careers, a lot of new contracts are coming in. I also think, and for me personally, I'm just going to share what's going on with me right now. I'm 52 years old, and as a teenager, I probably made the best of friends that I'll ever make in my life. And so if you're young and you're just now making your friends and you're in your 20s and you still have your friends that you had in high school, for me and my experience, it's very difficult to make friends right now at being 52 years old. And so I'm still really close to those people. But there was one person that kind of slipped out of my life somehow. And this person actually saved my life as a teenager. I lived with them. They took very good care of me. Their mother took care of me. And I just found out that their mother recently passed away. And I just moved back to the area that I grew up in and graduated high school in. And so I've been kind of stalking this person for a minute. And I did not have any kind of, I just didn't know why we weren't talking. Like, I couldn't remember, like, if I'd done something wrong, if we had a fight, like, but I don't believe that that's the case. I think we just kind of grew apart. I moved to another state or what have you. So how that kind of ends up is, yesterday I was just driving by their house and they were outside and I got enough courage to be like, hey, remember me? And you know what? It was at the right time. This person really needs some help. This person is really struggling. They've lost their mother. And, like for anybody who's lost a parent that's been close to their parent, like this person was the youngest in their family, has been around their parent, the longest. So it's, it's just a little difficult. So I'm really glad that I showed up and was able to be there, and now we're catching up and we're going to catch up in a real way. So that's what's happening to me. That person gave to me in a time where I had nothing, like no home or anything, no food, no real prospects. I was just a really good student, good, at sports and things. And this person offered me their home. And now, just out of nowhere yesterday, we met back up again, and I'm able to hopefully provide some support and stability for them. So that's awesome. Like a mini reading for the week in love and abundance. Okay, please tell me about government job. Please tell me about government job for me. Okay, government job. Okay. All right. I see you, Muskin. And I will reply here with a tarot card reading. Hector, I will get back to you John Clayton. Why do people do that? I got to ask, you gonna go with me to Chili's later? Like, you're like the second person, or maybe you're a person that has said something weird like that in a chat. And I'm wondering what that's about. Like, is it a weird catfishing thing? Like, this is not the singles power network or something. This is not a dating thing. But anyway, I'm going to draw a card and let Muskin know about your government job. So I don't know if you've applied for a government job, but that is a celebration for sure. And the Four of Wands is about, structure and stability. So I think that it's very possible that you get that government job, and it will help you provide for your family and keep the roof over your head. So the job will also be very fruitful in the money department for you. So please let me know, come back here and let me know if you got the job. And if you haven't applied for the job, well, you can't get the job if you don't apply for it. John Clayton, I'm gonna pull one card and ask a yes or no of whether or not I'm gonna go to Chili's with you later. I can't remember the last time I ate at Chili's, but it was not good. And if you're taking dates out at Chili's, then I know why you're catfishing people. Because no, boo boo, no. The Fool. Yeah, it was kind of a foolish question. No, John, not gonna go to Chili's with you. Hector, okay, let's see here. My life is stable and abundance. I'm a little unstable in the love department. What can you tell me about that I'm having new love come in? Okay. I didn't bring my plethora of tarot. I was hoping we could do a little bit of the astrology as well, but it's all good. If you know your astrology, I would love for you to put your big three in the comments. If you know birthdays of people that you're going to ask me about love, that would be awesome too, just so I can look at them while I'm drawing the cards. Let's see. Hector. Okay. You asked if new love was coming in. And so I have to say, the Emperor is a very powerful card. And I think that as far as the love goes and the question that you have given to me, that it means maybe you work too hard and you have to free up some time in order to make that love happen, or to have that time for that love to come to you. Okay. But as the Emperor, I think that you probably have a lot going on. I think that you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of duties, and I think you also take those very seriously. I also feel you wanting that love to come in. And so just please make sure that, while you're being the boss, while you're being, taking care of your own business, that you allow you allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable and not so standoffish. Like, I don't think that the Emperor is necessarily standoffish. You can ask him a question, but he's going to give you a very probably curt answer sometimes. So, think about who you are in relationships, how you talk with people in relationships, how, like, I don't want to tell you to smile, but maybe it is that you look really severe to people. Like, maybe you have resting bee face, like maybe you have a resting face that doesn't make people want to approach you. So maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror and see how your face looks, and give yourself some feelings like, oh, I'm happy, and see what your happy face looks like. And, just kind of practice with that. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I think that you're just probably a very serious person, and maybe lightening up will bring the love to you. Okay. I do feel like new love can come in because the Emperor has the Empress, and the Emperor is not going to go without, a mate. So that's hi, Sayantani. Tomorrow is okay. And it's exam time, huh? Okay. You're 11 years old. How did you Get here to my page. I mean, I'm cool if you're 11 years old, I think, because I don't know if that's okay. But I mean, as far as tarot goes, I read tarot for actually, I read tarot for like a 3 or 4-year-old or a 4 and 3-year-old. And then I gave the 4-year-old my cards and she read cards to the other 3-year-old and it was magical. She's like, she did the thing. I was like, hey, you can do this for me. Okay. So tomorrow, will I be able to pass it? Yes. As long as you studied, your great dreams are going to come true. Yes. And this is something that you've been manifesting. Okay. This is something it's been something that you've been wanting to do for a very long time. And to me, this card, the magician card, says that you know everything that you need to know in order to pass the exam. As a matter of fact, that wand and the hand here, as above, so below, look to me like a pencil or a pen. So I think that you'll be able to pass that no problem. And you got to believe in yourself. Okay, practice, get some sleep. Make sure that you are well hydrated so you can keep your stamina up during that test. I've taken a lot of tests, and the breakfast is important. All right, Hector, is she June 2nd? Ooh, June 2nd. Okay. So, what is your professional opinion? Your interpret the cards say. Okay. Somebody wants to know if she's coming back. It's Hector. Hector. I'm going to switch my cards to the love deck for that. Hello, if you're just joining, my name is Jennifer Rose, and right now I'm just doing tarot card readings for folks. I'm also, above me is my astrology chart, and I'm also cool to talk about astrology. If you want to give me your big three, maybe we can talk about it and see. I mean, I'm really trying to learn astrology here, so if you want to give me your big three, and I can see if like I can guess some characteristics about you or maybe how you feel based on your big three. I don't know. I'm just trying to learn here today, and I'm trying to rebroadcast a show and stick to my word that I'm going to be here every Saturday at 3 p.m. and do some astrology or tarot or both. All right. The question here is it over for sure? I don't know. I think really the jury is still out about whether or not it's over. And this is the Page of Pentacles. I think that the separation has really empowered Janet. I think the separation has really empowered Janet to figure out, like who she is and what she wants to do. You see that person up in the tree. I think she's really afraid to commit. I see that jewel down there in the corner, and maybe it is that she's really afraid to commit or get married, and or something about that jewel, marriage, wealth. Maybe it is that she wants to build her nest egg, and maybe that doesn't include you, but it looks like she's kind of up in the tree doing her thing and really just trying to kind of heal. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, this person is really she's just still, first of all, I mean, I think she's still very hurt and angry. And in both of these, it looks like it almost looks like that jewel is protecting her, like maybe her wealth of knowledge. Maybe it is that she's built something for herself now that she didn't have before with you, that she's comfortable with. And, like she's really trying to tame the old stuff or the old person that she used to be. And she also feels like she needs a little bit of protection. Like that lion does not look like it's asleep. It looks like it's really just watching her back. And there's also somebody just kind of, maybe it is that she has a cat, but there's also just, I don't know if something just happened one too many times for this person to just kind of run back. And it really just looks like I can draw all these cards and it's still going to show just somebody by themselves hanging out, trying to figure out what to do. So space is great. And I don't know how long it's been, but I'll tell you, I had a successful love spell before, and I think it took quite a while. And unfortunately, it didn't right now mean love for them. But it did free them up to have some closure in their relationship and to move on to new love, because I don't really do those type of love readings. You can't really do that without the other person, being here. But I can ask if, general love is coming in. So I believe that love is coming in, and it may not be Janet, because the last reading I did for you was that love is coming in. And then it's just, I don't think it's going to be, it may just not be this person. This person is really trying to live a solitary life and take care of their business. You're welcome, Sayantani. All right. Jesus loves you. Thank you. I am loved, and I am very well protected. Jennifer Rose, thank you so much for your time and energy. You're welcome, Hector. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me. Is my daughter going to find a job? Hey, Zencat. Appreciate you. Glad you're here. Is my daughter gonna find a job? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if you're, yeah, I think so. I think somebody's going to offer a job. And also, like, if your daughter also isn't dating anybody, that might also be an offer and a date. So me personally, I don't think it's a good idea to date bosses. So if your daughter knows somebody already that is a boss and wants to offer her a job, that's probably not a good idea, as far as I can say intuitively. But I do think that there's an offer on hand. And just drawing the second card, there's a 10 of cups. So yeah, I think there's a new job offer, and it's going to be a good one. I do. Feelings of Amit. Love you, Zencat. Feelings of Amit for me. Above me is my astrology chart. I'm going to see if this will let me take that down, since we're not really using the astrology right now. We can just put me up here. This is pretty cool that I can change all this around while I'm sitting here. Maybe I just need to take that out. It's all right. It'll be all right. So I was here to do astrology. I'm happy to do tarot. And I think I missed feelings of Amit for me. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to have to keep shuffling. I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I can't shuffle like other people do. So I have to hand shuffle a lot and get those things moving really well. Hopefully everybody who's feeling their emotions really heavy right now will feel the lift today as Saturn moves into Aries. Things get just a little easier to push. Or a lot easier, honestly. A lot easier. Feelings of Amit for me. Satisfied. Very happy about their feelings for you. They feel great about you. Sprinkle love. Ratika. Hello, Aman. I'm going to grab my love card, since everybody's asking about love readings. They're so popular, and I love to do love readings. I need some more love cards out here, though. says Prinkle Love Ritika. And unfortunately, that's the Tower card. So I would say by looking at that, that answer is no. However, uh, maybe there's already been a fight or something that's happened, and that's why you're asking that question. So if there has been a fight or a separation or something like that, I'm going to draw another card on that. Yeah, not sure yet. And I don't know about that. I don't know if Prinkle and Ritika are together already, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think that might be a maybe or a no on that, honestly. Is reunion possible in my relationship? Hello, Rajat. Thank you so much for being patient with my pronunciations. I wish as an American I were exposed to more people from different cultures and languages. All right, so is reunion I think reunion is possible. You can see that bright light. So what I drew for that is the Three of Wands. And I think that if the reunion is possible, you need to wait for that person to contact you. So this person, it kind of, this woman here is like, she's got the ball in her court, okay, and she likes it that way. So while they're healing, while they're doing what they need to do, if the reunion happens, it will come from the other direction. They will have to come for you, okay? That makes sense. You're welcome. Hello, Aman. Is reunion possible in my relationship, please? Okay, I just answered that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to do a general love reading right now and see what my spirit guides have to say for love. We've got air and fire, so we might be feeling pretty, overall, you might be meeting somebody who really trips your trigger, meaning you might meet somebody that you see and immediately kind of lust after, or you might also just fall in love with the way somebody talks to you or shares information with you, or somebody who, responds to your text messages right away. Like it's really that simple sometimes. So, what you're looking for in a relationship is somebody who's really responsive, right? Somebody who doesn't wait a day or two to respond to your text messages. Somebody who notices when you get your hair cut, that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see here. All right, the unknown card. So I think this is really indicative of how a lot of people are feeling right now, and how love is going. Today, the astrology is about the Saturn in Aries, and it just moved into Aries. And there are so many unknowns in our lives, especially with love. And sometimes when we have those unknowns, that crystal ball that we can't quite read, it usually means that we have to point that back at ourselves, that we have to use that as a mirror to find out who we are in relationships, first of all, and just find out who we are in general. Like right now, I think a lot of us are asking ourselves who we are, what we want to do for, quote unquote work. Do we want to work anymore? Or do we want to do our artistry? There's just so much going on, and in love, there's just so much unknown because I think everything is so up in the air for everybody. I think that there can be a lot of hot, sexy times during this air and fire. I already said this. So this can be quick relationships. These can be one night stands. They can be several one night stands. And if that's the case, please, if you don't want to, have babies, do what you need to do in order not to do that. Okay. But so for love, I just really think that I'm not feeling anything, permanent right now coming in, but I do feel a lot of energy that might feel like it's love coming in, and it maybe is just lust. And the Hierophant, oh boy, that's the Pope card. So I do believe, I was going to say that earlier, but I do believe that one of the reasons why there's this unknown card is that the face of our world is changing. Like literally the face of our Pope changed. The face of our Pope changed. And when that happens, so do rules around, so do rules, period. And so rules around relationships change, right? So this unknown card, I really wanted to say that I think that we were just trying to figure out where the religion said or where the religion falls now, because everything is changing and morphing here in America. And we just really don't know. We don't know what our future is, kind of, and so I think there's just going to be a lot of hot, sexy times in love, but probably nothing substantial. And um, until some of this stuff I don't even know what's going on with religion. Like maybe it is the rules, or maybe it is that we're afraid to break the rules, or maybe it is, a lot of people are worried about having a relationship, having love, and getting pregnant, not being able to have a choice about that. But the rules and the people who make the rules are making it a little bit difficult for us to carry out love in the way that we used to carry out love. And it doesn't mean that we're not doing sex. It just means that we're being careful, so careful about it that, it's really just going to be a lot of quickness there. Okay. And again, so if you choose to, have some one night stands, have, a few different short term relationships, especially in the next 3 months, that's great. Again, just do whatever you need to do to protect yourself from, sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, AIDS. I mean, with all of the cuts to all of our programming, the Medicaid enroll that's getting ready to happen in all of our states, we really can't, take a chance with all that hotness and do something that will cause us to make, different choices than we would normally. You're welcome. If this nonsense would work, COVID would be avoided. If this nonsense would work, COVID would be avoided? Oh, what does that mean? Are you talking about nonsense with the tarot cards? COVID would be avoided? I don't know. Well, this is just tarot cards here. I really don't ask for people to ask live questions. But yeah. So I'm going to do a general love reading right now, and then I'll do a general career reading unless anybody wants to talk about astrology. Above me, just for everybody who's joining, is my astrology chart, and I'm trying to learn astrology, and I was hoping that I could hop on here and see if anybody was interested in astrology or telling me their big three, so I could do a tarot card reading for them, or based on that or something, just so I can learn big threes and see what kind of people are associated with those big threes. And, as I learn the houses and as I learn those things, I have my Chaney book back here. My space is all cluttered, and they tell me that it's not good, but I got my Superman and my Chaney book back there. And just learning astrology on my own. And I've been a professional tarot reader for about 5 years now, and I'm a psychic. I talks to the dead peoples. I love it. We have fun. All right, so general love reading. Ooh, the lovers. So if you're currently in a relationship, this is really great news. That means, your bonds are strengthening. That means this is still your person. That means you're still excited about one another, even if you feel like you don't show it enough or they don't show it enough. It's, like just start showing it then if you're feeling like you lack from that love. Okay. But for people who are looking for love, I think this is a really great card. I think this could be a really good match. But I want to say, in that previous card reading, which I really believe just because of the astrology of the moment, it may not be necessarily the person. I don't know. I think that some good love is going to come in. As far as how long it's going to last, I'm just not sure that it's like the forever lover's love, but it's going to be good love for however long it lasts. It's going to be supportive love. It's going to be that love that you just get wrapped up in, that love that you might gain 10 or 20 pounds because you're so comfortable in. And if you're currently in a relationship, this is really great news for just, I don't know, go out on a date, do something nostalgic from the beginning, even if your beginning was just a month ago. Okay. And then the Nine of Cups. So there's a lot of people manifesting what they want from relationships right now, which is great. I think over the past few months, we've been learning about what it is that we want, what it is that we don't want, who it is that we are in relationships, and who it is that we aren't, like what we bring and what we don't bring. Like, I don't bring a lot to a relationship, as far as like I don't have $1 million in my bank account. I don't have a family that I can share with people. I don't have, I have me, and I know that's enough, but I don't have the other things that like my wife can share with me, like her family that she can share with me. So, the Nine of Cups is really, somebody who is manifesting the best love for themselves. Okay. And because it's a nine, you're almost there, right? You figured out what it is that you want to fill those 9 cups. And you're really getting used to feeling like just being able to close your eyes and feel protected, being able to see that magic coming from the moon, being able to feel, um, at one, in tune with your emotions, and being able to feel them in such a way that you're able to give them to somebody else. And then there's that unknown card again. And I think that's really for everybody. Right now, there's just a whole lot of things that are kind of wheel of fortuning out. Okay. Things that are kind of wrapping up and starting again. This is a whole new beginning for a lot of us. If you have Chiron and Aries, I think this is the time to really be, I think this is a time to take care of all that stuff that you've been thinking about taking care of. you know for those of us who are in our 50s, have that thyroid checked, have all those medical tests done, because it's time. And if you've been feeling like something's been going on and you need to have the test, then it's already past time. So do that. And I don't know who that's for, but if you watch that and you feel that, that's for you. Make that call, make that appointment. Even if you don't have insurance, even if you don't have the money, call and see. P.S. A lot of hospitals have programs that will help you pay for your bills. So please, please don't not get help, not get support with your body if you need it just because of cost. Okay. Sometimes it's waiting too long. So I think that there is going to be a little bit of love. I'm going to get a tic tac here so I can do the general reading just for life, a life general reading. And then I'm going to get off of here and stop boring you all. Again, my name is Jennifer Rose, and I'm with Rose Tarot and Astrology here in Kansas City, Missouri. And I am closing out my show today with a 3-card life tarot reading. Captain, I'll answer your question after I do this one, okay? Anxiety keeps on trying me. So we're all anxious. If we're all anxious, then that's probably what's keeping love from coming in. Like if we're anxious, that means we're overworking, undersleeping, oversleeping. It means that we're not who we normally are in the world. Okay. Well, some of us are just like fueled by anxiety. It is what we drink for breakfast, right? So overall, in general, it is that you may feel this way. Okay. And when I draw this card, it does make me want to say, like, please reach out to somebody trusted, even if that's a therapist or just, anyone, and talk to someone. Know that what you're feeling, even though it sucks and it's bad, you can get up from that. Okay. And we've got to remember, we've got to remember what our dreams are. We've got to remember what it is that we've manifested. And at the same time, we also have to remember what it is that we don't want. So for instance, there's just like this dead head in a cup. Is that what we want for our emotions and our intuition? Is that what we want to put ourselves into? Some of these cups are nonsensical and not what we need to be putting our emotions and our time and energy into. Okay. So, that goes back to the 10 of Swords card. If this is how you're feeling, please make sure to reach out. It could mean that you're also, like suffering from, delusions. Like maybe it is that you perceive these things have happened to you and it really, really hasn't. And that happens to all of us. Like, woo, I got triggered. I don't know. When I was younger, we had things repossessed. We were kicked out of homes and stuff. So I was triggered by somebody sending me a picture of like a front door of an apartment complex, and I didn't know who it was. And it seemed really weird, just like, oh, I'm watching you, or I'm here to come and get, like, and there were cars in the picture. And I was just like, whoa. So my perception was way off. That person, it was a wrong number. And my perception was just something that was a projection. It was something that happened in the past. And for some reason, it triggered me in the moment. And then I got to thinking, that all of these swords, whew, that feels so heavy. All those swords in my back were something else that they're not. Okay. So if all these swords are like people's words or people's actions or something, and you feel like people are just going behind your back, literally, or something like that, ask the question, because it just may seem like that, but it may not really be what's going on. If it's more than one person, because there are 10 swords here, if it's more than one person that you're, worried about, seek the person out that's the kindest, or the one that that you can talk to, and ask the question. Like, for instance, sometimes I get down on myself. I don't like the way I look, or I don't like the way I feel, and I start getting jealous in my relationship, and I start making up all this stuff. And so what I do is I have to ask my wife, I'm like, are you talking to somebody else? Are you unhappy? And every single time it's no. And it was just something of my insecurity, or something I was not comfortable with myself, every single time. So I think with all of those cards and with that anxiety that's there, it's really good to take the time to pay attention. Now, I know being triggered is no fun, but it also brings up an opportunity for us to take a different look at something, or to take a look at, this is almost kind of Hanged Man to me. And I know it's not the Hanged Man, but it's like, look at something from the other side. Like, I have this genuine, it's even in my chart and I can't remember what it is, but I have this genuine mediator vibe about me. I can see both sides to every single story. There's nothing that you can tell me, first of all, that will shock me or surprise me. I'm really not judgy. I'm not judgy about anything. Okay. And people just kind of open up to me. And I think this is about opening up in a different way, probably, than you would. And if it is that you're, like you're feeling like somebody is doing something to you, stabbing you in the back, telling you lies, or hurting you on purpose, it may just be that was something that happened in the past. It may be a piece of something that you're remembering, or that you were triggered back to. And it's really important to take a look at that, to examine it before you ask the question. And also examine, I need to put both these cards up here. Here we go. Examine, your perception of things. Examine, make sure that you shine the light on how you're thinking and what kind of mind frame you're in when all of this is happening. Okay. Because if you're already down here and then you're adding more swords to that, then it really could just be something that is unnecessary. All right. We do this to ourselves all the time, me included. I just make up shit. I don't like to confront people. I don't like to be in verbal arguments. Part of that is because I can go low, and I don't know why. I think I just saw people go low, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. When you verbally fight, that's what I was taught. And I don't do that anymore, but it's very difficult for me not to say anything that is personal. I think that's a Gen X thing. Like, we used to just call each other all sorts of names, and still kind of do. It's just a bad habit to have. All right, Captain. You want to know about starting a conversation. Peter Griffin. I like Peter Griffin, all right. That accent. All right. Want to start a conversation. Okay. I'm going to ask the question about this conversation. Hello, thank you so much for joining. This is Jennifer Rose of Rose Tarot and Astrology. My idea was to talk about some astrology, to have you put your big three down here in the comments. I've been here about an hour. We've been actually doing a lot of tarot readings, so I'm going to stay for a little while longer. If you'd like to put a question in the chat box, preferably like a yes or no, so I could do a really quick tarot reading for you, that would be great. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you know when I come on here and do these free tarot readings, and when I talk about astrology, current events, etc. Okay, so I'm answering the question. If I start this conversation, will it work for me? I love this. This is the Eight of Wands card, and it's like a bunch of wild horses. So I think it absolutely will work for you, actually. And I think what will happen is you will find that a conversation will be easily struck between the two of you, and you'll have plenty to say to one another. So I also want to say, I don't know if that conversation, the back and forth, like, first of all, it will work for you if you're able to talk to her or talk to them, or if you ask them to go and talk to you, there will be a lot in common and a lot for you all to talk to. So I think, yes, it will work for you. You're welcome, Aman. You're welcome. Again, thank you so much for joining me. As I try to figure out what kind of programming makes me happy, helps me learn astrology, deliver some tarot guidance to you all, and just connect with you all on levels. I really appreciate constructive criticism. Like, what do you want to know about astrology? Are you learning astrology like me? This is my astrology chart above me. And I think it looks like that area right there is I be eaten, and it's true. I struggle with eating for happiness, for sadness, for everything. It's just in our culture. I love food from seed up. But all you have to do, I'm using Cafe Astrology, just at cafeastrology.com. And what you need is so my date of birth, my time of birth, my place of birth. And if you don't have the time of birth, that just means you won't know your rising sign. Okay. So I like Cafe Astrology because after you put in your information, it gives you a very detailed breakdown of, so that's my rising sign. It gives you a really good detailed breakdown about what this could mean for you, or how this might express itself in your life, or what it means in your chart. And I'm telling you, ever since I've been learning my astrology, I feel way more validated than I've ever felt in any church. And I'm not saying not go to church, like I'm not against all that stuff. I'm just saying, like, for me, I've been in therapy for so many years for all sorts of different reasons, like for OCD, and it's literally in my chart that I might be obsessive. So it grounds me, and it lets me know that, like, oh, you are just who you are completely in that little circle here. And I love it. It's freeing for me. So let's see here. Ma'am, where are you from? I am in Kansas City, Missouri. I was born and raised here. Kansas City, Missouri, USA. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to draw one more card before we go because I just don't know how to say goodbye sometimes. And while I'm shuffling to give you the last card here, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, my wife Mel and I will be right back here. Mel is an astrologer who knows her stuff. And what we do is we get together at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we talk about the astrology for next week. We talk about, we do a recap for last week and talk about current events, which has been full of justice lately, like the Diddy trial. Kim Kardashian went and she got on the witness stand, and she graduated law school after 6 years. So a lot of justice has been going on here lately, but tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll talk to you about it. And at the end, we give a 2-card tarot reading to start the week. And then Thursday nights, we also do tarot card readings. We do yes or no tarot. Those are free as well. We do events. We do private readings, and I'm going to figure out how it is that I can kind of put myself as a tarot reader in a box or a psychic in a box where I can just be like, I'm available, and then you can pay me X amount of money for the reading, and I just get off of there, and we hook up here and we do the reading. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I have this new deck I'm going to show off right now that I'm learning. Oh, I don't know what that was. And I'm learning this deck. Unfortunately, I don't know all the hip hop queens, so I'm doing my due diligence, and I'm learning about all the hip hop queens. I'm learning about their music, and I can't wait to give personalized tarot readings with the hip hop queens. All right, let's see here. All right, the Knight of Cups. Those of you looking for someone to come into your life, the Knight of Cups is coming. The Knight of Cups is someone who will show you who they are right to your face and are not afraid of expressing how they feel. A reversed, they will express how they feel in a way that maybe you don't like, okay? And anytime that I have a Knight of Cups or a horse or anything going, I want to ask them like where they're going. And when I turned this over, I thought it was immediately love or romance, and that is not what I intended to do, but that's what's happening. So the Knight of Cups, there's love coming in. It's somebody who can express themselves really well. Maybe they're a good speaker, maybe they're a charmer, maybe they use a pickup line to get you. And where does that go? Oh, it ends up being a really good thing. So if somebody comes up to you cheesily and is just like, have I seen you around here before or something? I don't know pickup lines. I've been married a while. So if that person comes in and just gives you a cheesy pickup line or says something really off the wall to you, don't not talk to them. Like, go ahead and talk to them. That could be very interesting at the very least. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. If you would please subscribe to our channel. That really helps the algorithm, keeps everybody coming here so we can chat and talk about tarot and astrology. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time where we talk about the astrology for the week ahead and do another tarot card reading. And hit the notification bell because sometimes we do spells. It's just, divine timing. So take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll be back next Saturday at 3 p.m. and we'll see what's going on, if anybody wants to talk astro or if we're just going to do tarot card readings. Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. Stay safe.